Turkey's shooting down of a Russian jet from NATO airspace has sparked outrage from Moscow. President Putin and other Russian officials have promised to retaliate, although stopped short of ordering military action. But how will this attack affect the Kremlin's military operations in Syria? And what sort of capabilities does Moscow actually have? Joining us here on Ukraine Today is Mykhailo Samus. He is a top military expert. Mykhailo, thank you very much for coming in to the studio today. So I wanted to, first of all, ask you, we've had this diplomatic wrangling that's going on now, and there's lots of the hot air and diplomatic talk. So on the ground, what's next after this?
Yeah, to understand the situation, we should see the main goal of Russia in this total, let's say, campaign in Middle East. Actually, after disaster in Ukraine, I understand like disaster, because no success in Donbass, no success in Crimea. Now we see the power blackout, and it's an absolutely crazy situation for Putin. They need to show, first of all, for Russian propaganda, to show something new for electorate,
Putin to electorate. Boost the home support.
Yeah, absolutely. Because when we're talking about Russia or Putin, we have to understand it. Internal dimension of all of the whole situation is one of the most important in any situations. So in this Middle East, participating on Russia is. Internal dimension, a Russian dimension, is very important. But next, what I could say that it's possible that Russia conducting kind of a strategy of multiplication of conflicts. What I mean that it doesn't matter in which region of the world Russia will create a conflict. The main goal to make West participate in it.
So is that their main aim? Then to get the US and Europe involved in these conflicts?
Yes.
But why though?
Because waste resources to break Euro-Atlantic consolidation.
So what about Syria then, for example? What is Putin's main goal in Syria, would you say, from your analysis?
It's very interesting because even Soviet Union didn't participate, didn't interfere so directly in this very delicate region. Yeah, of course, KGB very actively work there. Even like advisors, any politicians, diplomatic activities Soviet Union made, of course. But like now, never Soviet Union participates so directly in this region like Russia. Why? Because in this situation, in this time, the Middle East, it's I think the most favorable for Putin to create a lot of dimensions for conflicts, like culture, religious, political, diplomatic, military, whatever, because a lot of players involved in this region, like United States, Israel, Europe, Saudi Arabia, and of course oil prices. If talking on the situation with oil prices, for example, 4th of December, Iran will get in European oil market. It's a very interesting factor. And of course, Putin tried to, let's say, make as many conflicts there as possible.
But it's not just the oil, though, because Russia is definitely losing petrodollars, but also Russia exports a lot of weapons to Syria for President Assad's forces, so it has that as well.
Yeah, of course, it's this aspect very important, because for defense industry, Russian defense industry working very intensive now to give the new missiles.
So do you think that Putin will actually bolster his military campaign in Syria now? Do you think he has more support back at home, or do you think people, despite the Kremlin propaganda, you would say, are actually turning away from this idea?
Yeah, I told that Soviet Union don't participate in this, right?
But what about now, though?
Yeah. And now, very interesting situation after this shooting of a Russian aircraft. Because Putin, I think he do not be too deep in this situation. So bombing all of these guys on the land it doesn't mean that Russia participating in full-scale conflict here. And after Turkey shut down the aircraft, Russia needs to make some active and open steps. So make revenge.
Yeah.
To show Russian people
but
that...
not just military revenge, though.
Yeah, it's a very difficult situation for Putin, first of all.
It's a balancing act, almost, because...
Trying to balance, because, for example, President Hollande visiting today Moscow, and what is the situation? Because it looks like Russia needs to balance between France to support in fighting against terrorism, and in the same time NATO involving in this conflict, and France and Turkey is are the member of NATO. So it means that two delicate situation for Putin now, balancing, sending some air defense system S-400 to conflict, trying to threaten Turkey, because the characteristic of S-400, like more than 100 kilometers for missiles, it means that these systems will have capabilities to...
But it's just the threat, though.
Yeah, to touch Turkey airspace.
But at the same time, though, Russia does rely on Turkey quite a lot, though, because, for example, there's pipelines that run through Turkey as well. There's also a lot of Russian tourists who go to Turkey.
Yes.
And Putin doesn't want to annoy them as well. So what's next then for these military operations? Do you think Russia will just continue as it has been?
I think Putin has to continue, has to show that it will some revenge, because looking on Russian TV, we see that Turkey is the main enemy, maybe more than Ukraine now, and it looks like he needs to show something like in military. Military means like military instruments to strengthen there.
I wanted to also talk to you about a no-fly zone. Today there were reports that this was possibly being talked about, and since this conflict has started, there's been a lot of near misses between American and Russian jets. So how would this work exactly? How would they work out this no-fly zone? Because there's so many different partners in this conflict.
Sure, because it's a great problem, because when we're talking about no-fly zone, we need to understand that it should be some agreement between sides, between players there. If, for example, the zone conflict with no-fly zone, it means that all of players, all of sides, all of countries which have fighters need to participate in this no-fly zone. If, for example, Russia will say no to no-fly zone, it means that...
Then what's America going to do, though?
Yeah, it won't be any fly zone.
Do you think they will say no?
I think so, because it will be against Russian interests there. I mean, to create new conflicts. But to create new conflicts around no-fly zone, this is in interest of Putin. To create new conflicts.
Yes, yeah.
With Turkey, with the United States, with NATO countries.
But surely they can only go on for so long, though. I mean, Moscow only has so much money to fund these operations.
Yeah, but it depends on the oil prices and stuff like these. But I could say that remembering the Soviet Union, it doesn't matter how much money do you have. The main thing that supporting of your population and propaganda will make this. I mean, the 85–90% supporting operation in Syria, it means that even look at the Crimea, the 4 days of blackout, and I didn't see any protest there, because they I don't know, but they thinking that Putin will come and help them.
Yeah.
But
I just have
protests.
One final question for you, going back to Syria. In your analysis, what do you think the final solution will be to resolve this conflict, not just within Syria itself, but between the Western powers and Russia? How will they solve this?
I think it's no solution.
No solution?
Yeah, it's because, after the Ukrainian conflict started in 2014, Putin opened the box, and now it's impossible to close it. Putin needs to make a new spiral, to create new conflicts, And I think more probably Putin will start new conflicts, for example, in Central Asia, and maybe it will be something like trying to slowly slowly escape from the conflict.
Just quietly.
Quietly, like from Ukrainian conflict, for example, like to put out the information support of this conflict and slowly, quietly get out from the conflict and start the conflict in another region, like in Central Asia.
Okay.
But to find solution, we should understand, Putin won't find any solution. It's not an interest for Putin to find solutions, to create a conflict. This is an interest.
Excellent. Well, Mykhailo, thank you very much for coming in.
Thank you.
That was Mykhailo Samus. He's a top military expert. You've been watching Viewpoint here on Ukraine Today. Now, back to the news.